Tanya, for the residential this year, the buyer commission change. Is it affect to the commercial commission, Tanya?
So what changed, as I understand it, is that NAR, and the way I understand that whole lawsuit was that National Association of Realtors controls most of the MLS systems in the country, and part of being a member of this, your local association of realtors and then your state and the national, was that if you wanted to put anything in the MLS, you were required to also share your fee. So, and I think you were required to do a 50-50 split. And you were required, maybe not required to do a 50-50 split, but I think you were required to put the percentage of the commission that you are offering to the buyer's agents into the MLS system. And the problem with that, as what they were arguing, was that buyer's agents were going through the MLS and showing properties to their clients that had the higher commission rates that would be available to them. So, basically, if there were two properties that were equally suitable for their buyer client, but one of them was going to give them a 3% fee and the other was only going to give them a 2% fee, then the 3% fee was going to the top of the stack, and that's where they would go and show, they would show those properties first. And then they were selling that. So then the listing agents were basically telling the sellers, hey, you need to offer a 6% fee because we need to offer 3% to a buyer's agent. Otherwise, they're not going to show your property. So basically, the argument was that the commissions were being artificially inflated due to NAR's policy. So what they said is that the MLS system now, they can no longer show how much of a fee that they're offering to a buyer's agent. They can't put it in the MLS anymore. They can still share fees if they want to, but then there's, ultimately what they need to get to is that a buyer's agent, if the buyer is hiring an agent, then the buyer should be paying their fee. And if a seller is hiring the agent, the seller should be paying their fee. And we kind of do that in business brokerage anyways. There's not a lot of fee sharing in business brokerage, especially as you get into a little bit larger deals. The buyers and sellers always have their own representation. And just like, it's interesting in smaller business transactions, they do relate it to real estate. And so sometimes they'll expect the seller's broker to pay them. But, the buyer's accountant is never paid by the seller's accountant, right? And the buyer's attorney does not get paid by the seller's attorney. So the reality is, why should the buyer's broker be paid by the seller's broker? I mean, it makes no sense. It's just not how things are done in business, in any other thing other than real estate. So I don't think we've never, in business brokerage, unless you're in Florida. Florida is the one state where they do a lot of co-brokering because Florida Business Broker Association has their own MLS system specifically for businesses. And so they do a lot of co-brokering there. The rest of the country really does not. There's not a lot of fee sharing. And the majority of the time, because business sales are confidential, when you're marketing a business, those buyers are coming back to you anyways. So they usually don't have another agent in the mix. Every once in a while they do, but the majority of the time they don't. And so I don't think that NAR settlement, I don't think it really affects business brokers the way business brokerage typically has been done, because we don't usually put things in an MLS. We don't put out there, hey, I'm going to pay you X% if you sell my listing for me. That's all just, real estate stuff. But it doesn't work that way in business typically.
So when I have a listing, combine the business and the real estate, I don't need to worry about the commission on the real estate side to to split or for the commercial, do we have to do the extra paper? Because at the residential, I know that the broker need to do the extra paper for the buyer broker commission.
Well, I think if you're selling a business and the real estate with it, it depends. You know, are you marketing commercial real estate separately? Or are you marketing it confidentially as part of the business sale where it's a package, it's a business with real estate. So depending on how you're marketing, are buyers coming to you, or are they going, or are you marketing like real estate? If you're marketing real estate out on Crexy or LoopNet or whatever, you're going to have a whole bunch of agents coming to you. Well, that's a different story. You're going to need to deal with that differently.
I
If you're
understand.
marketing a business where all the buyers are coming directly to you, then it, you know, again, different story.
Yeah, thank you, Tawnya. I got it. Thank you.
Sure. By the way, one state, I think Illinois, doesn't require it. Illinois is a non-licensed state, except that you have to register with their state securities commission. So you don't have to have a real estate license, but you do have, if you're going to sell a business in Illinois, you do have to register with their state securities commission. So keep that one in mind if you're doing multi or out of state transactions.